What's the fastest way to dig a hole in Minecraft? We tested every method from slow to pro, and some that are just plain stupid. And YouTube bet me that you can't subscribe before the sun sets. So chase that sub button below, and I'll start with the first way to dig a hole using your fist. Well, this is fine when you're going through dirt, and then it gets instantly boring as soon as we get down to stone. You know, I think we could safely say that's not gonna be the fastest. All right, not the fastest. You got it. Obviously, most people are gonna be doing this with a pickaxe, so we can go grab that. We can get our efficiency 5 tools. Start with the shovel. Here we go. Now this is a lot more satisfying. Although mining straight down like this, while it is safer than you might believe, it isn't exactly the fastest because while you're mining while falling, you're actually not digging as fast going straight down. So that's one of the reasons why you can't insta-mine digging straight down like this. Definitely a lot faster than it would have been just doing it with my fist, but is it going to be one of our fastest options? Not exactly. 469 ticks to get down to deep slate. Well, as we know, Observer, we can get a lot better. Now, the safer way of doing that is going to be digging down too wide and standing in the middle of the blocks. But if we do that, Observer, how much slower does it get? Let's find that out. So it's 469 to get down the first time. Is it going to be double the speed? I don't think so. I guess I would be shocked if it's exactly double. But at the very least, you're getting more blocks to build yourself out of. And this is safer. There was lava beneath me. All right, so the number we're trying to beat was 469 last time. So that's like, let's say 470. So 470 doubled. That would be 940. We're hoping for better than 940. Oh, I don't know. We're getting a little close to it, Observer. I don't know if we're going to be able to beat that. Hey, we did worse. But now let's kick it on to what people are actually using, which is Haste 2. Luckily, we have this beacon. Usually, I only see this beacon getting activated whenever we accidentally blow it up in a mod showcase. But now we actually get to use it. Now we're digging straight down with Haste 2. So that doesn't make much of a difference for our shovel. But for our pickaxe, you can instantly see this is a whole lot better. Oh yeah, that's just satisfying. Hey, 324. Honestly, for Haste 2, all that effort to make the beacon, I would have expected a little bit more than just like 140 ticks faster. That's kind of shocking, don't you think? All right, well, we've got some other ways to dig a hole, Observer. Now we're going with crawl mining. So crawl mining, the idea here is that you can make the hole that you have to dig for yourself even smaller if you're always crawling. Now, this is definitely a way to dig a hole, but using it as a way to dig to bedrock, I feel like is going to be a real pain. Yeah, this is good for like strip mining, but you're not exactly going to use it for vertical. I think we could just rule that one out, Observer. Literally just faster to dig yourself a staircase. Let's see how long it takes to dig a staircase down. Now here, I actually get the speed of being able to mine straight like this. This is kind of nice. Then I can swap around here. I actually don't know where I am relative to this. Oh yeah, this is slower though. But the benefit would be that you would have a staircase back up. Although the way that I'm doing this is actually kind of getting out of control. Yeah, so 600 and I've got like a partial staircase. I could work my way back up. It's not exactly going to be my prettiest way back up though. Now we're on to the fun options, Observer. Let's get some creepers out. All right, here I'm going to use the help of a flint and steel to actually get this creeper to help me down. Let's get going. I think it actually might be better to do it like this. All right. There we go. Come on, here we go. This is a little dangerous for us working in the mines. I get why they actually stopped this. Am I gonna die to my own workers? This is just rich. Okay, actually, if I have this little bit of a block here, I could save myself. So this is just a worse form of TNT. By the way, I'm going through so many different creepers to get this low anyway. I guess creeper's blast explosion just isn't that good against stone. I think I'm also not helping it by spawning it in the middle of that hole like so. Yeah, it does a little more out than it does down. Wow, I almost feel like I should have done the crawl mine. It would have been a lot less damage on my on my legs. I guess it would technically be faster if we used charged creepers, but I mean, it's not the best. And we're never using creepers again. All right, understood. So next up, we've got digging a hole using moss and a hoe. So if I get my moss block out like so, do that. And then even an unenchanted hoe, I'd go through this. Now, granted, it could be a stone hoe, but I don't need to worry about that. And then we just kind of bone meal and move our way down. The problem is that you're kind of constantly removing the moss that you're standing on. So your hole does get a little smaller as you're doing this. But the benefit of this is that this actually works on deep slate too. So it is impossible to insta-mine deep slate in normal situations unless you're doing a method like this. I remember when I had to dig the hole all the way down to the bottom of the world for a Caves and Cliffs advancement in July series. This is how I did it because there was no point in going through all that deep slate alone. There we go. Oh my gosh. Now, Observer, it's time to subcontract. Let's get out our first favorite, which is TNT. Pack a few TNT in here. Here we go. Ow. Well, so if I keep placing TNT, is that going to make this faster? I guess we'll try out. I feel like so, because then I could just chain the TNT explosions together. This is definitely a lot more fun than the creepers were. All it takes is adding a little bit of sand to a creeper and then they're starting to get usable. Go figure. Maybe if I add a few more in, pack a few more. Yeah, now we can blast the ow! I guess this would factor into the timing because if you died, then like, that does make it slower to dig a hole. I am sacrificing life and limb for speed though. They insta-detonate other ones that they're exploding. So if I just keep placing it while I'm going down, I feel like this is the fastest method to get down. All right, yeah, that was a lot more effective. A little more. All right, come on, here we go. Anywhere, anywhere. Hey, wow. Well, it's certainly more of a hole. This is the most hole of a hole that we've made. Now, I get to stay safe and get myself out a TNT dispenser. Now, technically, you could speed this up by moving it lower down. It was a pleasure knowing you, sir. Oh, yeah. Did it explode it itself? Oh, awesome. Reset, reset. Oops. All right, now it should be safe. So can you start it, observer? Thank you. And let's just hope it doesn't get higher aspirations, let's call it. Yeah, this is just the best. Just hanging out here, listening to this blasting. I don't understand what fracking is, but I think this is pretty much it. This is awesome. And it's still using the same amount of TNT. It's just that it's actually detonating from above. And the fact that it's actually going through some of its prime time while it's falling does make this faster. Almost. Come on. And we're time. Yeah. 898. So not our fastest, but maybe one of our most fun. Time to test the TNT duper, observer. Blast off. That looks more like an off blast. There we go. So obviously this is advantageous over a TNT dispenser because you don't have to actually go and craft that many TNT. You literally just have to craft one TNT to make this work. But the downside is that it is a whole lot slower. I almost didn't appreciate how much slower it is to do this versus the TNT dispenser. But I guess if you're working with glitches, you gotta work on their terms. $14.95 for one TNT. All right, so if you want to know the trade-off to make this happen, that's what you're getting. Observer, take your shot. Man, this is really fun to go and watch. All right, here we go. This is easily to see the slowest way with TNT. I mean, we're getting lower for sure, but man, we've only gone down, what, like 20 blocks, baby? And now we're not even hitting the target very well. Yeah, we can't even reach it. All right, so that was how fast it was to dig down to that point. Observer, it's time to get a gas and a little mad at yours truly. That should be hard. All right, here we go. Ow, 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 ow. Well, they keep hitting me and they don't hit the block, so it's not getting it very fast. I think we can safely say this isn't one of the methods to dig down to bedrock. Ow! Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a no. Charged creepers. All right, you want to just place them in the dispenser, observer? There we go. Oh, I'm getting creeper heads as I do this. Well, now they're just dying from fall damage. All right, am I getting any closer? I mean, again, I feel like this is a situation where the creeper explodes wider instead of down. Maybe they go like a few more blocks down, but it's not exactly remarkable. Think of how many thunderstorms you would have had to take advantage of with a channeling trident just to do this in survival. Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot better than our creeper one, but like barely. This is ineffective mostly by their own inability to work together. All right, here we go. We reached the bottom. Wow. Yeah, it's a nice looking hole. I mean, maybe you got 2 charged creepers down there. That's not my favorite. So next up, we got Enderman, which we got the barrier up to keep them mostly contained to this. But the truth is that they're still going to teleport out if they want to. So we just need to get a whole bunch of them. Oh, they can't even pick up stone. Marvelous. So we got to have it all be dirt too. So this is a remarkably hypothetical situation. Let's get them started. Okay. Hey, gents. Glad to have you here. We needed a lot of people for this job, and unfortunately, we got basically all the same people. All right, let's see if they eventually dig their way down. So literally all they'll do is they'll just widen the hole because they can't dig down. So you have to kind of be digging it yourself. Can you use Endermans to make a hole? You could use them to flatten out like a mountain, but I wouldn't recommend it for digging a hole. So my favorite way of using TNT is TNT minecarts. Now you can pack a whole bunch of these, and observe, I'm going to ask your help on this one. We're just going to try to blast ourselves down with one of these guys. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm actually starting to get a little lag there. And then just a nudge in any direction, and we got this. Whoa! So that's definitely fast to digging a hole. We didn't get all the way down to bedrock, but I mean, that is one of the quickest options. Here, let's go again. Whoa, that launched me even further. Oh my gosh, I'm just seeing the world like render in deleted. It shot me over the barrier, observer. All right, here we go. Round again. There we are. So 434 plus however like a billion minecart TNTs. But that's also a very effective hole. Takes a lot of iron. Yeah, you're gonna have to kill a lot of iron golems in the process here. Okay, so respawn anchors, the overworld version of beds. We'll split the difference. I'll do respawn anchor, you do glowstone. Okay, go. Yeah, this is a lot of knockback just to get back into this hole. Look, this is a very expensive technology, Observer. They're gonna have drawbacks. It's all in the name of science. This is ridiculous. All right, we're almost there. Come on, here we go. Imagine how many piglins you have to barter with just to explode this disappointing of a hole. You're not even getting drops from it. It's all just fire. We did it. Let's get ready to spawn a bunch of withers, Observer. So we use their spawn explosion. That's the only way we can get through blocks that aren't dirt. All right, yeah, we're just gonna bring a lot of withers to this function. We have a lot of methods that just get one row at a time, slower and slower. I miss pickaxes. Remember haste 2? Instead of getting turned into paste 200 times by 200 withers? No, we've barely moved. I think we can safely say this isn't gonna be our fastest, Observer. We're finding every way to dig a hole and every way to not get our security deposit back. So currently we're on top of a whole bunch of stone, but unfortunately for us, it isn't just stone. It's actually a bunch of eggs. And with the help of poison, we're gonna find our way back down to the bottom. Now, if I get one silverfish, like so, and I give him poison, we're gonna find our way down to bedrock. Oh yeah. So if I just keep the poison going, this is how we do it. All right, tick sprint. Oh my gosh, the particles are insane. Oh no. This is ridiculous. This is in the smelliest cloud I've ever been in. It's working poorly. Let's kill off all the silverfish. Kill Addy type equals experience. There we go. All right, now back to it. Actually pretty effective. I think the biggest lapse in time we had was killing off all the excess silverfish. Yeah, look at it clear off in scan lines. They're like, oh, you guys want to go get poisoned together? Well, you guys are getting poisoned? Oh, I don't want to miss out on that. It is still a very slow method with how much setup and cleanup it takes. But it is a perfect hole. That is true. This is our most clean method in some strange turn of events. We reached it. Wow. That is ridiculous. Well, now we're on to creative methods, Observer. Now, first up, I like doing is fill wood. And we're gonna see just how long it takes to burn a hole down to bedrock. Let's get it going. Oh, marvelous. My kingdom come. See, when I worry that I left the stove on, this is what I'm picturing. My neighborhood. I just doxed myself accidentally because I'm like, oh yeah, you ever see a smoldering crater? That's my house. Actually, very slow. This is kind of disappointing. All right, well, we'll give it credit for this though. So scaffolding is one of the fastest blocks to burn down. And unfortunately for the scaffolding, we're gonna be putting that to the test since when I light this up, we're gonna tick sprint and see just how fast it is to get ourselves down. Whoa, like this, there we go. Oh my gosh, the sounds of it all. Wow, this actually goes so quick. I've never seen scaffolding catch on fire. Oh, don't use this in the nether, folks. Well, even being one of the fastest blocks to burn, it still takes a long time for us to get down. Hey, there we go, 9,500. What about a whole bunch of sand, Observer? Send me down to the bottom of the world on my sand escalator. De-escalator, more like it. Hey, there we go. Well, I missed my stop, but it only took me 45 seconds to get down. 45 ticks, not bad at all. All right, so we can have turtle eggs and then a bunch of zombified piglins go and stomp on them. And given enough time, this will actually help us break down. Oh, they're already off. All right, I gotta get in. So some of them are actually going down a lot faster. One of the baby ones already reached the bottom. It's a little crowded. I should have just taken the stairs instead of the elevator. All right, almost. And hey, a lot faster than I was expecting. All right, here's our super creeper with the max explosion. Let's see how that goes. I mean, very impressive, but also we didn't reach the bottom. We're getting closer. Another. Oh, now they're just dying. All right, so that didn't work. We'll just call that. Okay, but what about a max explosion fireball? Now, this isn't actually max explosion because the gas could get up to a power of 2,147,483,647. This is just 127. Super gassed. Yeah! Well, it killed itself in the process, but we got down pretty far. All right, fireball. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, just keep them coming. I'll throw these down. I'm a much better gassed. I might not be happy, but I am efficient. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there you go, Observer. You keep launching them down. Oh, marvelous. And time. Well done. All right, this is a command that lets us actually make the arrows summon TNT. All right, you ready? Whoa! This is so cool. I actually don't know if multi-shot is like the way to go here. Oh, it's pretty effective though. Almost, come on. And pretty good. I'm bringing in an ender dragon to help me dig down to 0. So I could just have it teleport with me and I just bring it along. Come on, dragon. I mean, we're getting down slowly. It digs in a very strange pattern. But here we go, I brought the dragon. All right, so Observer tells me this one is the fastest way to actually dig a hole. So we paste this in the normal world. This is by cubic meter. To my understanding, like, it's just a thing that uses TNT so precisely. When it connects all of it together, it can actually just blast through your world. You use a literal spreadsheet to plug in the coordinates for this thing. And then when you take those coordinates, it'll send it anywhere within a 200,000 block radius. So as soon as we load up all of the TNT and we've plugged in our coordinates, you just see explosions in the air and then it just burrows through the earth. I mean, it's never a good setup when Observer's just like, yeah, let me just go type in the nuclear launch codes. You go stand on target. It's a little intimidating to just see your Observer statue face just slowly obscured in the darkness. I never come wander in the woods. If I turn off my light source, it's actually really intimidating here. Whoa! Well, I was in free cam when that happened. What? Wow! What? Wait, no, I missed it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just see a white speck in the sky, and then all of a sudden it's completely blasted down to bedrock. That is amazing. So when all is said and done, we have some options that just didn't flat out work. The Enderman, that's never gonna dig a hole for you, unless you want to go one block. So that gets down in the void. And then we slowly start to get faster all the way up to our top choices. We've got TNT minecarts, efficiency 5 tools plus haste 2, the maximum explosion fireball, sand fall trap. I mean, that already involves having sand all the way down to the bottom of the world. And then the absolute fastest, the orbital strike cannon at 1.03 seconds, is that right? 1.3 seconds? 1.03? 1.3. 1.3 seconds is the absolute fastest way to dig a hole. And with that, folks, YouTube thinks that you might like this video, so see if they're right and have a good one, all right?